What's up, family? What's up? What's up? Sorry, guys. Sorry. I am I was running behind. I was running a little late. I apologize. I had to take some important phone calls this morning, and um, you know, we are here that coincided exactly with the same timing as um, this stream. All right. I'm all over the place. Just give me a few moments to get settled right over through here. We got a lot to take care of. How's everybody doing? Sorry, I can't see anything yet because I am, like I said, trying to get into situated and everything. Second. All right. I am right there. Oof. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Got some interesting things to look at. We all do. Come on. Computer is lagging behind. All right. Live. Uh-oh. Now I'm echoing. All right. Never mind. We'll go with this. I was trying to get the pop out of the chat so I can respond to people's chats, but it's not working. For some odd reason, the stream. For the meantime, I can read and I'll respond by talking vocally, because we got important things to look at right there. Revelations that was happening in this free market. Crazy stuff. So good morning to you, Pabloco. Like I said, belligerent ideas. Well, I took a flamethrower to my swing trading account yesterday. New day, but definitely took a L. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. As you can see here, just looking at the SPY right over here, you got like interesting things that happened. And I'm going to look here. I'm going to turn it into a 30-minute chart. This is where we closed yesterday. Okay, look at how crazy this is of what happened this early this morning. So we closed here, pre-market, normal stuff, start gapping up, and then we took a major gap right there, and ultimately we went up here. Now, what does this signify? This level right here, 455, 454.75, 454 and 75 cents was exactly the place where basically shorts, as they, you know, whoever was shorting the SPY were all down here, and the bulls or the shorts were gonna get completely obliterated. So this morning, we were gonna take, like, if this candle, as soon as it opened, if the buyers were able to successfully bring up the price to about 454 and 83 cents, which is this resistance that I got drawn for you here. We drew this a while ago, all of us guys, like probably earlier this week. And if they were able to get it there, then that would signify a higher high and a higher low than where we ended yesterday, as you can see that. So all basically at that point, all these shorts that were down here and down here to end yesterday would have gotten obliterated, and they would have been basically going in to close their shorts. And by doing so, that literally would have such power to break us easily through that 456 level. Believe it or not, right now we're at 452.73. So it almost looks like that's not the action, or it's not telling of the action that happened. But no, it was that close of a call. If this thing just literally, and you can see the wick here, got to 454.75 and couldn't get to 483, 8 cents away from basically getting many of these shorts down here from yesterday to basically get obliterated. And these shorts over here that opened up over here earlier yesterday would also be like, you know what? It's not worth. Now we're even, like now it's climbing up. We're about to get into the negative on the end of the week. No, we're not going to go through that. They would also close again. This will push for the end of the day above the 456 high of the week. Now, here's exactly what happened. Since that didn't happen, it was instantly a buy if you could catch puts basically right there, because the shorts had to defend this level with their lives, literally with their lives. I don't see any reason why, of course, with volume picking up, perhaps like yesterday, the market maker leaving it all to come in at the last literally like hour. That's when we had like 20 plus million, 25 plus million in volume coming in. But as you can see, the shorts defended this level with their lives. And successfully doing so, and bringing the price down, obviously, as you can see, to 452.21, which is the low. I have no doubt in my system right now. This is, by the way, this blue, navy blue area right here shows the pre-market action. If we were to take that off, you'll see this happening. And what does this show you? Now that this is what we see, it was like close action, close call. Now that we zoom into this and see this, what do we see here? Let's draw this. Look. Let the action tell you. We see still lower highs, lower lows. Eventually today, I see us tapping into the 450s. So this is what AB sees now. Again, AB is not a financial advisor. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm registered as a financial advisor and all this crap. That's not the case. However, this is the way I see it. As you can see here now, we need this to constantly go down, or at least slowly close below, and on a larger time frame, of course. So being here now, a lower high, I'm expecting a lower low at some point later. Now, does that mean that we're going to flush down to 446 or 449 or 448? Not necessarily, because it's a Friday. As you can see, volume is not necessarily there, and it's not going to be as volatile. However, keep in mind that next week will be the week, because we got at the closing hour of today, we got so many indexes being rebalanced between the QQQ, and we got a few more. So all like happening at the closing hour of today. So this, like this, basically lower highs and perhaps having lower lows going into next week would indicate to me further that we are in the downtrend to perhaps go down and cover these little gaps, but little by little. This doesn't mean all will happen in one day. And eventually, with volatility that is coming in next week and the rebalancing and everything, I am almost as certain personally for myself for this case out scenario to play out. Now, how fast going into obviously next week that we go down to cover these gaps, I don't know. Maybe you take a couple weeks to about 3 weeks at the tops, almost 3 weeks, but I would say 2.5 weeks to perhaps even be down here, cover, and then perhaps reach the loading zone down here that we had before in the upper 430s, 438, 439. And then that's if it reaches down there. That's the most exotic case. But 442 is where the gap needs to fill, 87, and then eventually the SPY would continue its run. Now, if it doesn't, have a lower low right here. That would indicate, yes, it's a lower high, but a higher low would indicate perhaps a push before the close today to make higher highs than this indication, this level right here, to where we started yesterday. Let me go on the 1 hour real quick, show it even more clear. As you can see, this is the level that both sides are going to try to defend with their, like the bulls are going to try to defend this level with their lives. The 451.38, which we tapped into yesterday, as you can see, and the bulls defended it with their lives. Today, the bulls tried to take us to the caretaker and to the nursing home, as far as the bears in this case, if you are a bear and on the SPY. And the bears had to defend this 454 and 84 cents with their lives. So look at this tight range that we're in between. And I think that sometime at the close today, we're going to have a decision that it will give you a huge clue going into next week. And of course, the rebalancing of these indexes that are coming due today, at the close of today. So it's either we're going to break this level, and eventually right here we'll be in a free zone, fall into here, and yeah, that is a strong support. It's just not as strong as this 451.38 level, in my opinion. And eventually you will see us perhaps dropping in below the 450s, and that's where the battle will start ensuing for that. So we'll see. We're watching. We are taking action today. People who are going to scout between the markets got to be extremely careful. As you can see, the volatility is not there. The market maker just technically, literally had this gap earlier in the day. And now, as you can see, it is almost covered right there. It's right on it. So after this covering, will we break past it to the downside? And that will indicate to me that we are moving that in that direction, or will we respect it? And then eventually that means we are gonna be going through a complete rest of the day of this back and forth until perhaps the end of the day, either retesting this to break it or breaking back to make a new high above the 454.75, and that will indicate we're going into next week on a real bullish note. Okay, with that out of the way, got some things to show you guys also throughout the stream. How's everybody doing this morning? KJW, good morning, brother. Do you think XRP will rocket up to a few bucks? Smith, good morning, sir. Well, KJW, it's hard to, okay, so like when I was in Dogecoin, the unbelievable was for it to reach 1 cent in the matter of a couple months, okay? And watch how this story will play out to hopefully your question. So Dogecoin, the unbelievable case scenario, it was expected to go up to 1 cent in perhaps a year and a half to 2 years time frame. It did that in less than 2-3 months. If you got in the late 2020, around September to October of 2020. Or even perhaps if you got in a little bit before that, by the end of 2020, you were already there in January of 2021. You were already above a cent. So it was unparalleled, crazy upside reaction. Now, can XRP do the same thing? Absolutely. Why does it even have a better case than even Dogecoin? It's because Dogecoin has an unlimited supply. So yes, while it can burn and burn and burn and burn and try to outburn like the supply and demand, so therefore it can go up in value. Dogecoin shocked even anybody who have any realistic thoughts or realistic brain with the fact that it went up to the 75, 74, 70 cent range. Like what? In such a quick time, in less than a year, from being like 6-7 zeros below a penny, It's unbelievable how it ran. Now, can XRP do? Of course, without no doubt, do I think that XRP can way outdo the the levels that Dogecoin did, especially with the fact that it is still not adopted by. I mean, it's traded much more than Dogecoin on a big scale. Like Bitcoin is the most traded crypto. You got Ethereum coming in next, and you have, I believe it was, who is it? I believe Litecoin comes in like sixth or fifth. There's, I think, Uniswap or whatever. But I know the top two first, let's say, just put it this way, is Bitcoin and Ethereum. And XRP is in the top 10 most traded. In fact, I think it's like either number 6 or number 4, something like that. Don't quote me on this, but I know it's in the top 10 most traded cryptos. Dogecoin was not even in that, and it skyrocketed to the levels that it did. And Dogecoin does not have a unlimited, or doesn't have a limited supply. It has uncapped supply, where XRP, and this is not me hating on Dogecoin. I mean, again, Dogecoin was one of my biggest come ups. But XRP has the potential to outdo any realistic expectations out there, even perhaps beyond a few bucks. But you have to temper the expectations, because with every pro comes somewhat of a con. And same thing with the opposition. So what is the cons here? I gave you a lot of pros. The cons is you have, and I said this yesterday and many times before, the fact that the group that created the blockchain of XRP owns the huge chunk of change of it, gives them a leverage over any investor or any entity out there. Now, they kept saying that they will let go over time and unwind, so that they're not holding a tight grip on the crypto or XRP, so they can swing it in whatever direction they want it swing it to. I'm yet to see all that. So therefore, again, this thing could run. For example, let me give you an example. It could run to, let's say, $1.20, and then that group could be in need of money, or some guy who has, one of the blockchain creators could be like, hey, you know what? I have whatever 20 million XRPs or 100 million XRPs, and I really need some cash in this market, the way that we're living right now. I don't know their situation. You don't know their situation. None of us know what's happening to somebody's situation. We all are oblivious to each other's finances and, life situations. So they could be like, you know what? Okay, I'll dump half my position here, wait for it to go down, then I'll go back up. And it could be more than one to do something like that. Which means it can go to the $1.20 or $1.50, and then come back down to about 80 cents, 70 cents, and then perhaps try to rally up again, but it takes time. So what is the moral here is, do you believe in XRP? If you believe in XRP, then my humble opinion is thinking long term, and that's all about all the cryptos is in the same bracket. I'm the most bullish person on Bitcoin out there. One of XRP, XLM, Ethereum, Litecoin specifically. Litecoin is like the silver to the gold of Bitcoin, as it's always referred to. But I don't trade them into you could go and trade futures, and you could trade them out, like on a daily basis and do some day trading over there. But if you see the true potential and believe in the crypto blockchain realm as a whole, then you would obviously search for look at the good and the bad of each one of those blockchains. Because again, you don't want to go and start investing in some unknown coin, because every day there's like about 500 or 1,000 or a new 100 or like a new cryptos that pop up. God knows who's behind these blockchains and these codes. So going into something that does make sense, and then eventually having sorry, I'm looking at the SPY's action right here as we're talking. You feel me? So like going through that ultimately, and you get the memo here, hopefully, that when I'm thinking of these blockchains, I'm thinking perhaps 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. And that's even very short term. Take that in. That's even very short term. You're looking for the next squeeze, like the AMC. I know there Lou's out there, and he's talking about we're going to the moon and all this stuff. Yes, that could possibly happen, but it's not necessarily going to happen in 1 month or in 1 week or in 3 weeks. If you go in with the expectations and the game plan of something squeezing eventually, and you have like your game plan drawn out to like the worst case scenario, best case scenario, and how long could you hold it for, uh, you would find best results in the broad time frame. Uh, Planning for something to break out, to make some money, to jump back into this and do that and all this stuff, well, that could also work. However, you have to be set up with those elements. You know, you have to be set up and ready for this. You don't want to just come in every day to the market and say, okay, I might jump here, then I might jump there. You're going to be all over the place, and then you're going to fork out money all over the place. You want to always have a sturdy step, and you always want to make sure that you whatever you're getting into, you absolutely believe in, and you know exactly what you're going in it for. You know, a lot of people that got screwed in AMC, for example, and I don't want to say screwed as in like that's it, but the people that did like in the past 3 years get screwed, and like you remember when that whole saga of people getting margined out of their accounts and stuff like that. Well, the way that they got screwed is because their expectations was here, now, not tomorrow. And eventually, since it took longer than they anticipated, they were already going in with a faulty plan, over leveraging themselves, putting in the whole sink and the bricks and the whole house and their parents, everybody on the line. And then eventually, uh, they got margined out of their accounts and they got plastered. So you can see here the golden, hopefully, nuggets that I'm pointing out to you is if you believe in that blockchain and you believe in crypto as a whole in general, then the most important element here is setting the expectations. What are the expectations and what is the time frame? And if you're expecting something more like, hey, now next week or next month, then it could possibly happen. But it'd be very risky to go ahead and put the whole house down on something that expecting it to go in a month, because at the end of the month or next month you have your house payment or rent payment due or car payment due, something due, and now you're like, okay, well, XRP didn't squeeze. What do I do? I need to go find a fifth job or a fourth job or a third job or a second job. Not saying that that's how you go about things, but I'm just generalizing here so that every person in the room, whichever element applies to, can basically take their precaution. So hopefully that answers that question, my friend. Let's see. AMC moving. Yeah, 1%. I need to see a lot more, obviously, and I need to see volume here. Interesting, but it's at the end of the week. Maybe shorts are getting out of their positions or they're closing their put positions that are due today. That's why you're seeing the suppression of the price going up. But I'll wait until the hours of later on in the day to see exactly what's going on here. All right. Looking for a great entry point here with a SPY. I'm trying to see. Let's do something right there. As you can see, this is as clearest thing you can see today so far with the SPY. It is definitely making lower highs and lower lows. The shorts protected on the SPY, protected it with their dear life up here, that 454.83. I mean, you can't call it much closer than that, you guys. Look at it. And this is a level that we drew last week or the beginning of the week. So they protected that with dear life. And now you need to see this continuation of lower highs and lower lows happening going into the close, so that as you can see here, the gap of the morning closed. Now, will the bulls try to reclaim this levels and power through? Of course, the market maker is going to make sure that they completely start eliminating most of that power coming in and making sure that, you know, it does not completely go up and obliterate him on the options chain. We want to see this not close above this past action. As you can see, the shorts are active here. I could show you this on more than one occasion. They protected that resistance level with dear life, of course, at the close to the open, and then right at the open, you see that big momentum candle right there. Then it was brought down here. Bulls tried to reclaim. Of course, right there you see the bears protecting that with dear life as well, bringing that down here to maintain their aggressiveness onto the strangle, or to basically on the bulls. Each time frame will give you more and more things to look at. This is a very aggressive push by the bulls right now, as the sellers protected their resistance level, and now they're like, okay, you know what? We need to let the bulls go, like we'll let off, and then the buying comes in. Perhaps the bears think that they can trap the bulls into coming in and perhaps try to push this price back up. On the 1 hour, that's where we are. I have many things to show you guys, and we have to look over that will clarify so many different things to you, hopefully throughout this stream. We'll look at some frames and some really crazy looking things that can give you like shapes and forms on charts that can give you indications of what's to come, you know? It's not a one all be all kind of thing. Now, see, here's the thing that is forming. If this thing was to close up here, here's why this is crucial right here, to not close above. And I know we have like extremely so many lines, but I keep these throughout the week because it's important. Now, every day for itself and operates that way, except of major resistance and support levels. Besides that, almost all these other lines and all that stuff can go away every day. Now, you see this right there. If this thing closed above this, why do I say the importance of lower highs and lower lows? Well, while we stagnated right there, the lower highs, now if it closed above this middle part right there, back at 10:30, 10:20, just about 30 minutes ago, if this closed above right there, that would be actually what? Look at that. A double bottom, which is AKA W, a clean one. And then the bulls will take off, and then we will go back to retest 454, 52, and stuff like that. So it's beyond amazing how this action, you see the price action and you react to it. Look how the bulls did not allow for that double that W to actually cultivate and continue to happen. And instead, they fought it right there. And now, like, the bulls are going to try to go ahead and clean up. Now, this is again all on the 1 minute, so it's very short time frame. You look at the 2 minute, almost cleaner W you can see right there. A W is a very bullish action trend indicator if it forms, as it didn't form right there. Now, if we look at the 5, look, it's so close to form. We look at the 30 minute. We need more price action to be able to validate, but it's nowhere to be seen here because, again, this is the 30 minute. If we were to take off the extended hours of trading, we will see basically this case happening here: lower lows, lower highs, and again, it's respecting all that channels you see here. Lower low every time, 1, 2, 3, right there, lower high, 1, 2, 3. And by the way, I need you guys to put this in your notebooks, okay? This is important. This is, get out your notebook and make sure you keep this as a note in the future. Let me first look who's in the chat here so we can see all 16 of you. Remember this. In order for your trend line to be valid, a lot of you are probably asking that question, especially people who are new to charting and to technical analysis. A lot of you will be like, well, how do I know that my line is in the right place? Is it in the wrong place, or all that? Don't worry, AB's got you covered. You need the line to touch at a minimum 3 points, whether it's divided between whether the top of the wicks or the top of the candles. And I'll explain to you what wicks and the candles now. Just let me get the statement out first. And again, make sure you remember this. You need to have 3 points touching the line, whether it's to the downside or to the upside, before you can count on that line being either a resistance line or confirmation to your trend, or on the bull side for a confirmation also to the upside. So how do we test that right here? What is the wicks and what is the candles? Look here. A wick is these lines that stick out of this body of this candle. Okay. Now, some traders like to point the lines, start their trend lines on the wicks, and some like on the body of the candle, which is this body right there, not counting for that little stick sticking out. And that's totally fine for either. There isn't one that really stuck out. People can go into that. It's kind of like that conversation is like, my sports team is better than yours, and they could go in back and forth, and no one will eventually win that argument or that debate. However, you need that trend line right there that we drew to touch at least 3 points in order for it to be a valid trend line. The more it touches, the more valid it becomes. Anything like 2, like let's say it did this. I see some people who are like, even people on YouTube, unfortunately, they would be trying to teach people charting and analysis, and they will be doing this. Okay, so it's right here, and they will be drawing lines like on a 1 minute time frame or a 2 minute time frame, and they will say, look, this is our resistance right here from this point to this point, and that doesn't tell shit. So I want all of you to constantly remember that in the back of your head, okay? Hopefully you guys have learned that point right there, because that's crucially important into going into your charting, either career or lifestyle. Let me see something right here. Let's go back and also look at a couple of the other. Second. Stocks. Oh, hold on. Let me see some more people saying stuff. AMC moving AB. Okay, I got that. D Robinson. Good morning to you, my friend. Nice to have you here on a Friday. Hopefully everybody's having a great Friday. Okay. All right, come on, volume. Market maker, we don't need to go through this again. We went through this yesterday, if you remember pretty well. You know better than that. Don't mess with AB gang. All right. Let's see. DWAC, I saw that was actually moving this morning. I don't know if it's continuing still. Let's see here. Nothing new on AMC yet. SPCE down 3%, Palantir down 3%. Amazon, as you can see here, the markets have given up all the gains that it had in the pre-market. And guess what? The bears are continuing their persistence trend, and the shorts, they don't want, they could have easily gotten obliterated. Look at this. Right there, for Tesla tried to rebound and go right back up, and again it opened, boom. They controlled it, they guarded it with their lives. They did not want to get plastered, or at least be able to get out of these positions and get out with a profit before they get or they let this go. So they probably borrowed money from everybody, from Biden, from whoever it is. Potential delay in iPhone 15 debut could impact Apple's margins. See, all the good stories about AI and everything, and now look here. What does that tell you? One small article like this can start the negative downtrend. That's all it takes. This is how the whole system is technically, in my opinion, rigged to this extent. Now, I want to show you guys something on the SPY, okay? And let's see, what have you learned so far from being with AB in the past few days, at least, with charting and patterns and stuff like that. So I want, before I do that, let me see who's all in here. All 14 of you. Vance Summers, Barbin, AMC Boost. What, I'm sorry? Hold on. Barbenheimer. Oh, Oppenheimer AMC Boost. No, my friend. No. Oppenheimer regrets everything he did to create something that personally we could dive into deep. I'm all about that kind of stuff. I know exactly, they made this movie now about it, but I could tell you all historical facts and all that. There is some really good indications that while he gets the credit of being the creator of it, it was Heisenberg from the Third Reich party and all that stuff that actually was on the verge of actually having all of it, and he did everything. And the reason what confirms those talks and why I say this is because first, before the US started working on their nuclear program, Gorilla Grodd, good morning, sir. Before the US started working on their nuclear program, it was scientists that fled the German Nazi party, and letters from people like Albert Einstein that were sent over to the US warning them that, hey, these people are working on this and it's going to have the implications of this. Like, that's what they're working on. So instantly the US were like, okay, we need to work on this. They got their scientists, their physicists and all that, and Oppenheimer was on top of that list, working with a few other people. And then when the US gained basically when the Third Reich has collapsed and people were flying and running all over the place, like when the US was looking and everybody was looking for these high generals in that Third Reich, one of them was Heisenberg, and they sent, I forgot with time, I had a live like about a year ago that talked about this and explained this to a lot of people, but there was Heisenberg is the scientist's name, and he fled to this mountain region. And when he was there, there was a troop that was sent with a U.S. general on it, and he was looking for him, and he ended up finding the guy. He ended up finding the paperwork and all the documents he was working on. And at that very same time, we were retaliating on Japan. And next thing you know, like at the beginning of the Pearl Harbor situation and all that stuff. So like then suddenly after they found these documents and all these things and they found that Heisenberg guy, they come back to the US, and not even long later, like months later, you're talking about Oppenheimer trying out, and then they had that New Mexico, the Manhattan Project, when they tested out that nuke. So were they able to get the things that they needed so they can just tweak whatever was missing, the missing ingredient and the link to get going? Perhaps. Who knows? But he himself says his most famous quote is when he saw the the explosion of the Manhattan Project in New Mexico desert. He was like, "Now I've become death, the destroyer of worlds." And he ended up getting screwed, dude. Like after he created what he created, of course the government took all that and everything. Then he started speaking against it. So it's kind of crazy. Like, why do you create something and then now you want to go against it because you've seen the true horror of it? And then he did, go with all his powers to try to stop that. And he ended up getting, it was Truman at the time, if I'm not mistaken. It was Eisenhower or Truman. I think it was Truman that basically told him, the president at the time, told him, go F yourself, even kicked him out of the Oval Office, and they took away all his clearance and everything, and it ended up terrible for the guy. He ended up dying from cancer. I don't know if it was lung cancer or what kind of cancer, but he ended up dying a lonely death, and it that was basically the end of that. Hopefully, I didn't ruin, because the movie still didn't come out. I don't know if it came out, it didn't, but this was just details into that, and it can get much, 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 much deeper. We can get much, much deeper into that stuff. So let's see here what is happening with our spy. Let's see here what's happening with Netflix, continuing the downside. AMC up in percent. And again, you're saying that is it because of that? No, I can tell you a money educated guess here, not a perhaps movie backed guess or any article. There was a lot of deep in the money puts that were due today. So all these puts are most likely either being exercised, and if they're exercised, that means the shares are being purchased. If they're just being sold or basically eradicated, then you would see also, since there's no pressure pushing down on the stock, you'll see that the now whatever buying is coming in or is allowed to come in is actually going toward the stock. And of course, happening to be a Friday, so nothing to see here, folks, right? That's the way I see it. Or at least the best guess that I have. Okay, Netflix still down 2%, exotic, Tesla down 1%. Microsoft is keeping the SPY a little bit up still. See where's Apple. Apple is back up again. But I'm going to go back to the SPY and show you guys this thing I really wanted you to see. Okay, Nvidia still down 1.5%. Okay, where's the SPY? Right there. What have you seen with AB in these past few days in charting and in diagrams? Looking for action. So all of you in here, all 14 of you in here, you think the movie hype will get public to the buying AMC blindly? I don't see that, my friend. Again, that narrative, who knows? That could be what's working out, but I don't believe in that kind of stuff, Vance. I think that the public is like, we could buy and people can blindly buy and do all this stuff, but it's also what's allowed to go through from these institutions. Like, again, I know for a fact, it's not a guess, I know for a fact that for the past 2 weeks, we had millions of dollars, not, some orders or a few shares here and there. No, millions of dollars worth of in the money puts that institutions were putting on us, basically maintaining us in this range until further notice. So that's another way for them to short or constrict the movement of AMC to the upside, putting so much weight on it so that it's kind of like if you're trying to swim and somebody ties a metal anchor, to your foot, and it's like you can't get out of it. It's chained to your leg. You can't get out of it. You're stuck. That's what they're doing. No matter how powerful or strong of a swimmer you are, it's going to drag you down with it. And that's what they're doing. They're making sure that they put all these far deep in the money puts, wasting so much premium on it, by the way. But again, to them, that's worth it other than being obliterated to the upside, because that's what these times have come to. They don't have much access to real shares, if there is any, because no one wants to really lend these shares except certain institutions like Vanguard or BlackRock or Bank of America. Those are the only institutions that would be willing to lend a share. Anybody else would not be ridiculous or crazy to do that because of the impending judgment that is happening. So they want to hold on to their shares until they see what's happening first before they think about the next step. So by having all these puts on the stock deep in the money, they're keeping AMC where it is. They're burning some premium, but that's worth it to them because it's similar to going to open up a short position and paying the cost to borrow fee. To them, it's worth it other than having to get obliterated by the price going to crazy levels and they get margined out of their accounts. Of course, we want that case scenario, but they're fighting that scenario. And of course, now that you're seeing the upside movement, a lot of people would think, what could this be? For what? Like, what is really moving the stock? Now, information helps a lot. Knowing that this is like that AMC had all these far or deep in the money puts stacked up against it for these past 2 weeks. And I've been calling them out on every live. Knowing that they're all due today, and the price, of course, did not dip below the levels that it's been at. So guess what? Right now, there are two things that are happening. They're exercising these puts, but that won't be making sense because all these puts were bought at the $17 strike price. So exercising, meaning they would have to pay to get those shares, $17 per share for AMC. Economically, that doesn't make any sense. So why would they do that? They would go ahead, all they would be doing on those millions of dollars worth of premiums is they will be go ahead and just close out of them and take the losses, the minimal losses that they see. To them is minimal because they have billions and billions of dollars on the line. So losing a couple of million would be easy rather than losing 25 billion or 5 billion. You see what I'm saying here? So right now, if I have the best educated guess, is that, and the most likely scenario, not no buying hype or we don't know what's happening out there, it's that those institutions are closing those positions, and since they're taking off, think of that same scenario I told you about you swimming and they got an anchor tied to your leg. Imagine that anchor being cut. Now you can swim. You see what I'm saying? So what's going to be happening now throughout the day is I will be personally looking at, let me look at this real quick, the options chain as it continues to form and see what's the next stagnant date that they're going to be loading up on. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. See, like right now, they're loading the hell up on August 18th. And yeah, so August 18th is the next day. So you can see the trend here. They're keeping it as low as possible. And all of this are institutions. They're not traders. They're not retail traders. They're taking their losses on their puts week by week on the weeklies or every bi-weekly. They're taking their losses slightly. They close their position, collect as much of their premium as they still have, whatever that is left out of it, and then preparing for the next one so they could keep this constricted until the judgment comes out, or better yet, something gives, like, something has to give at that point. And that's where I am at a big, complete odds and complete against many of our YouTubers that are spreading, literally, I call this as FUD. They're saying that this court case or the retail traders, and whether it's the yes or the no, is what's holding up AMC. You are all wrong. I am telling you here. This is AB and I approve this message. You are wrong. It's not retail that is postponing the case. It is not the no voters or whether even the yes voters. It is clear. You follow the actions of the money and you can see it. Now, if you want to believe in legends and gobblers and goblins and sorcerers and all that kind of talk, hey, there's many channels that will give you that. Guys, go and entertain yourself to sleep with that. Now, for me, I like to see the truth. I like to go after facts, not know what I want it to be and then go with that and what sounds like WWE exotic statements to make. It's clear as daylight when you see what the institutes are stacking up on put side on AMC. You can see that they're the ones, the institutes, the shorts, are actually keeping AMC in the price range that it's at. It is not the case. It is not the no vote. It is not the yes vote. It is them that is keeping it there, and perhaps they're waiting until something has to give. And we will see that as it comes. Now, of course, that's something no one has any foresight on the future. I can't tell when will that go away, but seeing or tracking the money, seeing their actions will give me more of an insight day in, day out about what's exactly going to happen, or when to expect the best educated guess a week out or 2 weeks out or a month out. That's as far as you can see by following the money trail. But as far as, because every time they do some money actions, that's when you follow it. But if you stray away from that and you stop following that trail, well, any wind going east will take you, any wind going west will take you, and somebody will say this and it will take you in that direction, somebody will take you this, take you in that direction. Eventually, mentally, psychologically, you're going to be so drained and say, I'm tired of this AMC crap. I can't, no one seems to have it right. No one seems to understand. Because they're giving you faulty expectations because they themselves don't know what they're talking about. They're just trying to rally you up, trying to sound exotic, have some content to give out, something to talk about. Market crashing tomorrow, the market crashing tonight, that kind of ish. So again, hopefully Vance and everyone else, hopefully that answers a lot of questions and doubts. Maybe it could be what you want to hear. Maybe it couldn't be not what you want to hear. But for me, I rather follow the money trail, not what I want to think is the case, and then push that as facts or agenda onto the people. So if you follow the money trail, you'll see that it's actually the institutes and the shorts that are holding this price of AMC down. It is not the court case. Anybody who says that, tell them, give me facts that that's what's happening. Follow it with receipts, and then I guarantee you they'll be like, well, look, the price is not moving. That's their only receipt. And that, to me, that doesn't stand in AB's court. That doesn't hold any case. Let's see. SPY. Okay, so family. You've been with AB for a while now, right? And you've been seeing charting and all that kind of talk. So all 16 of you in here, I want you to tell me in this time, in this area right here, what do you see? And this is on the 2-hour time frame. Okay, what do you see in this area right here? I'm gonna show you the boogeyman today, the boogeyman of the stock market. Come on, show me some answers in the chat. Just, there's no right or wrong. Just tell me, well, there is a right, but tell me what you see, what you think. I'll drink some water while you guys are putting. Please put any. All right, belligerent ideas. Look at you. Anyone else? Come on, I know you guys are not all viewers. You guys are gonna participate. This is the AB zone is all about everybody participating. Everybody has something to give. Come on, we're a family. Looks like everybody's shy except belligerent ideas. So maybe we do this. That's the 2 hour. Maybe we'll go to the 1 hour time frame. What do you see here? My screen got hot. Can't see Smith. Oh, okay. Let's go to the 30 minute. Dun, 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 dun. This is the boogeyman right there. You see, it gets clearer and clearer. We'll go back to the 4 hour. It's kind of like those scary movies, The Conjuring or The Insidious, where like they look at the picture, they don't see nothing. But then they zoom in and you see something in the background. Then you zoom really in, you see a hand on somebody's shoulder or whatever. So right here on the 4 hour, you see it's very small boogie. On the 2 hour, it gets bigger. On the 1 hour, it becomes scary. And then at the 30 minute, it's staring you right in the face. It's crazy, right? Look at this. This is a terrible setup right here. Just on the 1 minute, of course, for the day-to-day action for the bears, at least for the meantime, because it equates to or translates to time decay on their options if they're of course expiring today, while it still holds that at least for now the trend line of it's not fully complete. We'll see that soon, of this lower lows and lower, like the lower highs. We haven't made any lower lows yet. We need, as bears, if you are one on the day, something to break this 452.25 level. It cannot be there. Perhaps the 452.21 level. We can't continue to dance in this range, and that's what the option chain and the market maker would love being the case. The resistance is for the shorts in this case is the 454 and 75 cents. As you can see here, 83 cents. And then the resistance or the support for the bulls and the buyers is 452.25. I have it right here. So the market maker's job is to keep the price dancing in between these ranges right here to burn as much options and premiums until the end of the day to exactly give you break the deadlock, whether it is going to be to the downside or to the upside. And personally, as of for right now, while it looks like it's bullish, it's not necessarily it yet. It's I'm more on the side with all these balancing equations going into effect into the indexes, the major indexes. You like I'm expecting, as I've said before, stuff more like this. Let's go on the 1 hour. Let's take away the extended hours. I'm expecting at some point slowly within here until 2.5 weeks out from now for us to continue to trend down, break support levels one by one. We're covering this first one here at 446 and then the second one at 442. 58 and perhaps grabbing the liquidity zone right there, somewhere around the upper 430s. That's the most exotic range. I can't perhaps see that being the case. If it does break this 442 range and go down and actually break the 437 at that point, then it's easy to say that at that point we would be in a free fall all the way down to the 421 range from the 437, which is pretty exotic, right? So let's see what plays out toward the end of the day today, going into next week. We have all of that unfolding. Look, all these trends are being respected. It's kind of weird seeing all these trend lines, right? And let me look right here and see what I got. One moment, please, family. I am something important. All right. Good, good, good. Let's see. Hold on. Perfect. All right. Let's see here. What do we have? Do we have any questions in this? Um, I have been watching the charts closely, and yep, the 49ers are winning the Super Bowl. I mean, they have a very legit claim, my friend. 49ers, Bengals bring back the two Super Bowls that the 49ers burned the Bengals, the only two Super Bowls appearing. Well, the Bengals have three now with the loss to the Rams one from a couple of years ago, but the one that actually stood out, the two that stood out before that previously in the history of the entire history of the Bengals was the uh, 49ers, John Montana team actually obliterating them twice in those Super Bowls. Back then, they had Boomer Esiason, who's a big legend in the Bengal. Boomer is like a legend in the Bengal nation world. So he led the Bengals and lost both of those Super Bowls. So if they do meet again, that would be interesting. Let's play some music, shall we? So please tell me, guys, if the music is loud enough or if it's too loud, I can put it down. Elon must be losing billions these last 2 days. Damn, and I thought it I had it bad. Well, okay, is he though? Because if you think about it, in 2022 and 2023 alone, took like this, like the end of 2022 leading to this point, Elon Musk have gained more wealth than Warren Buffett's entire wealth. So you tell me, is he really having a bad day, or do you think he has it bad? On the same time, you got to remember, Elon Musk in the past year or so have sold so much stock from Tesla. And I was saying back then, he's smart for selling at a higher, I mean, he's smart and in the same time, terrible to his investors, because when he sells, he accelerates the downfall, but he's capturing he's selling when Tesla is high, knowing that there's a downtrend in the broad market, so he gets to have more money on the side sitting. So let's say he sold an X amount of $10 billion or $10 billion worth of stock, and he puts that on the side at when Tesla was at, for example, 300, okay, or 280, 290. When it went down to the bottom at 100, I remember like the bottom was like around 100 and what, 50 or 111. Here, let's look at it. Let's not just guess. This is how he takes advantage of his investors. The 52-week low, exactly at 101. Now, when he sold Tesla at 290 or 280 or 270, guess what? Now, when it hits 101, he can go right back in and buy back twice as much as his previous position and still keep an extra few $1 billion on the side to go play with. Do you see how that is intense or crazy? That's basically what Elon Musk was doing. So I know that the smart, the insidious individual, he's an opportunist, and again, it is what it is. He is who he is. All right, let's clear all these trend lines so you guys and me can see better, and we can start drawing new ones after. Let's look at the 30. We will put these though, however, these are the important ones to see. This is the range. Do you see, as it's making this run now, that basically from right up here, this thing can't close up there again. 454.88. I want you guys to keep your eyes on this level throughout the day. If it goes past that, it's either that the shorts have already sold and said, you know what, let's get out of this quickly because they saw this pre-market action. This blue area right here, this navy blue area, is the pre-market. When this happened off of yesterday, the shorts that were here and here, you see on this red action right there, like especially here and here, these ones are still in cool water. But this and this, they're in hot water as we speak. This one is already drowning. This one is on the verge and already like their nose is under the water, but they still have for about a few minutes to breathe. They need to make sure that this doesn't close here. If this action goes up here, this guy and this guy would completely be thrown out of the water, and them closing their positions, if they haven't already, you would know it by the bullish action, which tells me that they still haven't. They're basically just saying, you know what, we're almost like it's close, it's too close, but we'll nail them up here. Let them bring all they got. As far as for the bulls and the buyers, let them bring what they got, and then we will hammer them before it gets, you know, to the top or to where we are. Let them get it all out instead of us and them fighting in here, and then we run out of selling pressure. Then they could beat us back up here, and then we get completely obliterated. They could easily say, you know what, let them bring all their buying pressure here so that when they use all their ammunition, we will come with ours and with ease bring them right back down and keep them so that we do ultimately, like this guy and this guy, want to keep their shorts perhaps going into next week and then make money off of that shit. So let's see what happens here. Do these guys drown these shorts right here and get screwed? And them drowning and their positions being closed will mean a massive, and I'm calling it here early, be a massive, crazy jump past that this lease levels and easily perhaps over that 456 range. So that's a massive reversal. But as you can see here, now they're starting to come back and put the pain down on the bulls. So are they putting enough? We'll see. It's just a little tapering here. Maybe the bulls will pick it right back up. Is there enough buying? Again, the volume is 22 million. It's almost noon. It's nothing too crazy here. I do see something after 12 coming in an exotic way, and help either side get some that push that is needed, I guess, to get it over the hump for either side. So these levels right here are scary for anybody. Like I would always tell you, like, take caution, and these are very scary places to trade in because you're in a flip zone and it's kind of like a coin toss at this point, in which direction you will see who will win this deadlock. Is it going to be the buyers or the sellers? Because it literally is a deadlock. So I caution. I need to wait for more verification. As you can see, there was a gap off that fall after the pre-market. So this gap will remain to be filled. What does it fill? Today, there's cases to play for either side. The bears want to keep it, or the shorts want to keep it below the 454.88, which will indicate at that point a higher high. Here, see if we put this at the 1 hour time frame. This closing up here, see, all this shit is studied, guys. It's not just study, like, you know, guessing stuff and drawing lines here and there. So 454.88 would indicate, again, a higher high, which means these guys get obliterated, which means At that point, these guys will have to go in and close at a massive disastrous loss to them, and that would propel the price action to go ahead and even break the most recent high that we had, or even the high that we had back here, yeah, on the 19th, a few days ago. So the bears, or the shorts, are coming to a decisive, and it's weird that it's happening on a Friday too, ironically. And you can even see the deadlock clearly here. Look, these two sellers, buyers, back at it again. Same equivalence. Now the seller is like, the sellers did their part right here. The buyers did theirs, showed what they got. Now the sellers are going to try to show what they got in response to this. If you think of it like a war, in war terms, and now the sellers are going to try to show what they got. If it's not much, the buyers could be the opposition of that, and then some massive players or whales in the background are waiting for the exhaustion of these shorts, and then once they use their selling, all their selling ammunition, that's when the whales will just come in and just power through this resistance right here, and then at that point it's done deal for these guys down here. Hold on. This will be done deal for these guys down here, and these guys down here, and of course it will be over for these people over here. So this would get screwed, and the whales that push it over this will be handsomely rewarded within the blood and the flesh of these shorts up here that would get mortified. Now, same case could be made also for the shorts here. As you can see, one, we have the head and shoulders right there, and in the same time, if this can actually get underneath the continue to make the lower lows, so like if this closes down here, going into almost the pre-market, or in the pre-market when the indexes are rebalanced going into next week, this could very well be easily like some sellers, some more new money shorts could come in, join these guys right here in these areas somewhere up here to prevent this from closing at a higher high. And then eventually that could be like all these buyers up here will get screwed up completely, and they might also turn into sellers themselves to try to have stop losses. All their stop losses will be hunted down the line over here, and then it will turn into a massive downturn leading into the after hours, and of course going into next week to perhaps bring it down to these levels here in the 450s and the 447s and the 448s and 449s. So as you can see, the deadlock is at its finest right now. Let's see eventually what ends up being the case. Let's keep it on a little more fun time frame where at least the candle looks like it's moving, because again, the volume is not there. Market maker want to make sure that they keep everything down, you know. Let's see. 20 billion belligerent ideas yesterday, just saying that money could change Americans. Of course, but these people don't think and care about that kind of stuff. Belligerent ideas, you're much better man than these people. Smith, yay, screen cooled down. By the way, I'm in Texas outside. Whoa. Enjoy that Texas weather, my friend. Be glad that you're not in Arizona right now. Jam Bams, hey, there's Jam Bams. Been missing for a while. How are you doing? Missing you, Jam Bams. Thank you. And people, as you can see, listen to the lady. Make sure that you all show AP love by smashing the like button. Just keep it alive for the next one after. Amazing content and knowledgeable. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. That really brings tears to the heart. It means a lot coming from you, Jam Bams. Let's see. For now, it's on the 1 minute time frame, so as you guys can see what I was, oh shoot, I still have the drawing factor on. Let me take that out of the way so that we're not drawing anymore. Okay, I'm still on the, as you can see here on the 1 minute time frame, it looks like the resistance level right here for the shorts that we were talking about, it looks like it's far away, right? Because it's the 1 minute. But again, look at the price, 453.63, only $1 away. New money could come in. Two major big candles could bring in a lot of buyers, liquidate some of these shorts back here, and get this party moving to the opposite side. If that doesn't happen, as you can see here on the 30-minute time frame, you see it looks a whole lot closer than like one major green candle. One of these candles right here up here would get the shorts and the bears right here, these guys, to sweat bullets and blood, in fact. Whoa, guys. They are loading the boat on AMC's puts. Wow. They are loading the boat. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. Look, they're all at the $5 and the $4 price range. So basically, if you can see this, they're keeping it between that zone, and they don't care how much money they lose in premium in order to do so. I'll give you some narrative here. One company I'm looking at just put $400,000 worth of premium at what price? At the $5 puts. So it's in the money because the price is underneath 5, right? They got it exactly around the 443 level. Many institutes, if you've been following this channel, at least, I don't want to say for a long time, but at least for the past few weeks, I've been telling you about the 448 price range. Clearly that's a sweet spot that they do not want broken and kind of claimed. They don't want that ground given up to us, to the buyers, to the bulls, because of course we hate the bears when it comes to AMC. No shorts here. Next week, I do see some retailers, however, that are bullish on AMC. There's massive buy, like over $100,000 that is due next week in premium on the $5 strike price. Now, if AMC moves up next week, see, like this could easily be not necessarily a retailer. It could be somebody from these hedges and something just trying to make some money. The fact that the price of those options is only $12, and the fact that it's due next week, putting in $100,000 worth of premium, that person would be playing this, and they did that at 10 in the morning. Watch this. Let's put it on AMC. I'm gonna show you guys something. Look, the bears are doing something here. All right, let's go to AMC. Look at this. See, that person, whoever is doing this shit, they know a lot that we obviously have no access to. So this person bought in those premiums when it was at 429. Okay, 429. That's important. The price is at 446. This quick surge from 10 in the morning, this person is already making money on his options. So therefore, which it could be either a retailer or an institute. Therefore, if this person either one exercises going into next week, because it's due next week, literally on the 28th, and every day this goes on, so like as soon as Monday opens, if this person is still sitting on these options and the price stagnates like this, they would be in the loss. They would not be getting back their $100,000 worth of premium. They would be getting back, if they're lucky, probably 60% of that back. Now, of course, somebody who puts $100,000 out of nowhere just like that into AMC, who doesn't have volume as of most recently, and now as you can see, the volume is up. I explained to you earlier why the volume is up, because the massive millions of dollars worth of premiums on puts that were put on AMC are all expiring today, which means when they get out of those positions, they are also taking off that overly heavy weight on top that's keeping AMC constricted in this zone. And what they're doing here shows me, see, this is a big institute taking off one of its things. As you can see, when they took off, they added massive amount of puts back here again. Then moving on to here, you see they slowly and little by little let out big quantities. That's why you see this green action right here. And then suddenly you're going to ask yourself a question like, whoa, like, why did it do this like this? Is the judge putting out her vote or her ruling? Or is it because once you follow the money, you'll see the picture begins to paint itself for you. Seeing this go up like this, they're closing these put positions, because I know they're there. I've seen them. And you know that, you know the story plot, and you know what they're going after. So they're closing these puts, allowing for buying pressure to actually affect the price of the stock moving up. Now, which we saw that here, look at this. Close big position, open up new put positions. Keep the price within these levels because it will make sure that it does not get them liquidated and obviously margin called. So that's the players who are doing that. Look at this. We get to the high of 448. Look at this now. We're dancing with that. And then guess what they do? They bring us down. They're trying to keep us underneath this. Now, I can't wait to see, since they're opening these massive amounts of puts on AMC, because again, they're trying to battle the narrative of us going too far too soon. Like the last two institutes to put, I know those were institutes that are not retail, were to put this just like 5 minutes ago. They put in like a total combine of about $150,000 worth of puts at the $4 range, which is in this case out of the money. But in the same time, now if this price dips from here just to right here to the 430s or below the 440, then at that point, if they want to day trade it and keeping that, the point that I have to get you guys to understand is these calls and puts have a massive weight on the price action, because when they let go of puts, the price clearly starts going up because the anchor is released. Now, when they load up more puts again, as they close those for profit, or for a little loss on their premiums, when they load more on a little bit on the calls, it goes up. Then they let go of some of the puts. The anchor is released. The price goes up naturally with some of the buying pressure happening on the market, whatever is released to the market. And then they come back and instantly load up at the higher zone, like you see up here at the 448s, a lot more. And you're talking about high amounts of premiums to burn this. So technically retail, we can be the whale to screw them up on the options chain, because that's where the battle is being fought, in my humble opinion. How? Not with small money. It needs to be a one move by everybody together, acting as one force and basically ripping it up in either direction. So basically there will be massive amounts of puts and calls in certain ranges. I'm not going to give any advice or anything so that, nobody would say, oh, AB said we should all do this. I know some of you twisted minds over there. But that's exactly what they're doing. And if we were able to bring in much more, because seeing these premiums, it was only today that they were able to amass about $7 million worth of premiums that were due today in puts. Now, if retail was, hypothetically speaking, was able to come up with 20 million, 30 million, I understand. You're like, hey, that's why I said hypothetically. And we were able to allocate those in between the prices of the strike prices that are, for example, within the money and out of the money, right there in that same area, it would take the market makers in these shorts to have to take money out of their other positions throughout the market. I'm not saying that they will completely be effed, but it would be such a screw and a pain in the ass for them to having to go through something like that, because they would have to go get much more money, liquidity, to battle these levels against us. And that's again against their liking. Right now they're dancing and having a party on their own in the options chain into AMC and for, of course, GME as well. Hopefully that made some sense to a lot of people. Buckeye Ace, what's up, my friend? Look at this. Literally, it's so crazy how like these levels and these action is happening. The market maker is making sure he's burning people left and right on both sides, the calls and the puts. But in the same time, they would have to let it the gates out completely. Look at it. It's completely suppressed. The volume at 24 million, exactly almost around noon. Killing the time decays on all those out of the money, whether puts or calls. And as you can see here soon, at the last hour, most likely they will show, similar to yesterday, what will ultimately happen. Right now, they'll continue to burn both sides. The deadlock is between this range right here, people. Keep this in the back of your heads and watch this action play as I gave you both scenarios for buyers and for sellers, and watch it play out exactly in the senses of how I broke it down to you for either case. This zone right here is the battleground for this war happening in the market, the broad market, in the S&P 500 today. And breaking any of these zones would indicate a winner for the week, and overall continuation going into the new war next week. That could possibly be the new week that will give major grounds in those battles to winning almost the war. The war never ends in the market. It's every day it's a battle. And one day it's this side that wins, and one day the other side wins. Maybe many days some side wins, like the Bulls have been on a tear for about 9 months now. So it's they've been winning battles. This is their time left and right since back here in let's say was confirmed. No, this is too soon. Sorry. Since back here. Since October 21st, that's when they took most of their pain, or the last of their pain of 2022. And then since October 14th, October 21st of 2022, the second part basically of that year, that's when they made basically one lower high. However, making the bears think that they're still got more room to go down here, taking the SPY down underneath the 200s, underneath the 300s. But in case you want to see it even clearer, right there in December 23rd, 24th, right there, you see that little doji candle right there, the cross, 12/23, 12/30th, exactly at the last day of the year. It showed an indication, actually two of them, one on the 23rd and one on the 30th, an indication of change of direction, or of the current trend, or the past trend, which was what a seller's market was going on since January of 2021, or January of 2022, sorry. So for literally about 12 straight months, an entire year of selling action, maybe of course some rebounding along the ways, but then at the end of the year it showed a divergence, a higher low, rather than, you see here, the lower high to these 3-line trends. And then this was in line with these, to continuation for selling. However, these at the end of the year, the last 2 weeks of the year, told so many stories going into the future, as it did not continue to make a lower low than this 343.92. Instead, it made a stop right there, a reversal. You see how we started forming higher highs, then higher than this area right there, and then the lows started becoming higher and higher from this point to this point, and now we're here leading to this point today time. Hopefully all that made sense to the family. Again, we're still dancing with 24 million volume. It's unbelievable. Let's see. How many people witnessed that funny thing yesterday with Public? That the new channel that basically is against that woke mindset and everything. Squoze out over 100%. And it was funny, I was seeing some videos circulating how Jim Cramer was so pissed because people were in the lobby that were screaming and chanting USA, USA while he was trying to talk. He's trying to talk and he's not able to talk. He's getting interrupted left and right. He was mad. You could tell like he was mad out of his rear end. And we were like, we were just laughing our asses off. Like I was laughing my ass off watching it. How many people saw that? And I think Donald Trump's son was actually also there present. Also, we might listen to this audio. Also, like some of you guys, while it's consolidating time right now in the market, how many of you also watched the hearing yesterday of the whistleblowers against the Hunter case? Man, that was intense. I've seen like bits and pieces of it, but that was intense. Really intense. How many people in here seen that yesterday? Sorry, I'm also looking at, I'm taking a position currently and SPY. Just want to make sure I see what's basically going to cultivate over here. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. All right, let's see. Whenever the market maker lets the algorithms go to either side, I'm gonna take a very educated at like kind of a swing here to either side, and I'm gonna put stop losses to both cases because it's gonna swing to either side here. It's still a deadlock, and I want to be able to expose myself to the upside on either case, whether to the downside or to the upside. Now, it's not. This has nothing to do with any of my emotions or biasness to where I want it to go. Um, this comes down to having to make money, so whichever way it exposes to, it will set my stop loss on one end and it will limit my exposure to one end, and then it will expose me to the upside on the other. Look, we are literally in just about a little bit above the middle of the chart on the deadlock. All right, back over here. David Stevens, what's up, my friend? Spy seems undecided. It is. It is indeed. Let's see. Simp Boy McNuggets. I love that name. What's up, McNuggets? FJB. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of trend and out of touch. What does that stand for, Simp Boy McNuggets? Come on, McNuggets, let me know. What is that? It might click right away as soon as you say it. I was gonna say F Jerome Powell, but that would be Bowel. So which one is it? Oh, I see. Now, oh my God, look at me. Yeah, I was talking about that case. So there is some interest. Like, have anybody else listened to that hearing in the Senate, like the seat, the House, like with the whistleblowers giving their testimonials? You guys haven't. If none of you in here have, or if any of you in here haven't, I would urge you to actually watch that throughout the weekend. You would have enough time, amples all over YouTube and stuff. You go watch it. You will be surprised with the kind of stuff that these whistleblowers are bringing out. And these whistleblowers are not just people in the street. These are people that are honestly risking their life. These two guys, they're risking their life and they're risking their, of course, their career and the reputation, because they will, at this point, what they're doing is they're making, like they worked in the IRS division of investigation on the international level, and that's why they were handling the case. And it's crazy from there. So I just wanted to give you that ground and base, so that if you didn't know exactly, if you're just hearing the rumors and the noise, now you have a base of knowing, like, who are these whistleblowers? Are they credible or not? Where are they coming from? How do they get access to this stuff? How they saw this stuff? So you can actually go and view it and see it yourself, and you will be, like I said, completely surprised with what you will come up with. Belligerent Ideas talked about it on my podcast, Coffee and Beer. That's your podcast name? Shame on you, Belligerent Ideas. You didn't tell me all along? Let's see. Coffee and what is it? Coffee and Beer. Is it Coffee and Beer or Coffee and Bean? I hate this new YouTube symbol that they put on the side where it gives you like the ability to type hearts. Oh, Coffee and Beer. To type hearts for, like on the chat, on the live. What is? I can't find it. Is it Belligerent Ideas name? Ah, Spotify. Okay, okay. Well, I'll be more than happy to tune in, my friend. I'm gonna have to go and open up a Spotify account. I think I had an old one. Now I have a reason to go dust it up. Every reason to go and dust it up, in fact. Are you kidding me? I wanna hear Mr. Belligerent ideas in person. Put a face to the, or put a voice to the to the character, and then eventually perhaps put a face to the voice. All right, let's look on AMC while we're looking at the SPY right there. Again, for those of you who just got in, you need to understand the forms and the levels that are being given to us here as clues to what's going to happen. Both cases make a lovely case for either case, like for the bulls or for the bears. However, the ball is in the bears side right now, and kind of the side of the court, because again, you see a high here that we formed yesterday. We couldn't break past it. Then it goes down. Then we had, sorry, this is the day before yesterday. Then we go into the after hours and we had major low that brought us underneath this low back here from the day before yesterday. So now we formed a lower low, at least for the time being. And then the next pump was in the after hours also yesterday. I'm sorry, the after hours of the day before yesterday. And you see here, it did not cultivate into a higher high, so which means the bears already made this first indication. So at this point, if you're a new trader, or if you're a trader and you need to see things that you can kind of like spot them out, you see a lower low over here. That's the first alert. That doesn't mean open up position. While that would cultivate to this 2 days later, but still, you do not want to be the trader that would like jump the gun on some instances, because you could be right one time, but you could be wrong 2 or 3 times. And if you balance that out, you would be more losing than winning, right? So the more conservative and smart thing to do is to wait for the next hit, which happens right here. Look at this. On this low, if people jumped the gun and got in, bought puts for their due that day, or like let's say when the open market happened, the bell, if they opened right here, they would have made so much money going into yesterday. You see, from the 454 all the way down to 451, that's a fortune, guys, depending on how much you put. I mean, like $1,000 from here to here, timing it exactly like that, seeing the levels of support and resistance. $1,000 in that kind of position will yield probably somewhere between $4,000 to $6,000 in profits, and I'm not BSing. It could be actually even more. This is the reason why you have to be able to see these if you go into the options chain and the options world, and into the levels of the support and the resistance, in the same time the supply zones, to know when to expect moves. That's how we spot things out. This whole notion of the news pumps the stock and whatever, no. The reason why the news is always the opposite, it's coming after the move, is because it's just a tool of justification, to give you a justification to what action you're seeing. So if you see massive red action, you click on the news tab and then you're like, what is this? It's showing me that it's red. Like, why is it that red? And you click on the article and they'll put together whatever gibberish crap. They'll say, China hacked USA. While yes, that could be the case as the most newest rumors, but is that enough for it to actually bring down the whole entire market or all that? Now you have to live with that news. That doesn't mean you go instantly, based on hearing that, you go and open up a down position and all that stuff, because doing so will hurt you tremendously in the long run, because you could be right once or twice, but you could be wrong at least 5 or 6 times, and it will end up being zero portfolio or in the negative eventually. So again, back to here. So the new trend happened is we stagnated at this high, the most high that we got to since the high of last year. And then we stagnated. We couldn't. We met a double top. You could almost say make a case for a triple top. Not clear and clean, but still happened. And then you see in the after hours the day before yesterday, this formed. So that's a lower low from all this action back here. Now, since this cultivated here, you can't just go in and buy puts instantly. A conservative and a successful trader will wait and not be emotionally driven and wait for confirmation on their intent. So first, they would wait, see this, possibly going back to make another high up here, which again, it looks less likely, but you never want to go against the market's dynamics. The market makers, it's their job to screw people and do the unthinkable, right? So it goes up, and leading into the opening of yesterday's pre-market, that's when you saw that the move ended, and it basically, they made another lower high than this area right there. Now here, we'll turn the infamous drawing tool again. And then we proceeded to make a lower low. Then you see here in yesterday's pre-market action, a high that stagnated right there, which happens to be the same level that is, again, the resistance for the shorts, because the shorts started entering right here. That's where the new money shorts came in. At this point, your risk and reward ratio was really high, and you were basically, if you went on puts yesterday, you were handsomely rewarded right at this point, because it was an educated good guess at that point. It's a lower high than these areas, boom, and right there as well. And there's a lower low. It got confirmed with the lower high. So the most expected thing next was going to be a lower low. It didn't exactly right here. As you can see, the shorts brought it all the way down, and you can see that right there. So if I was to clean up the chart, see, high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Of course, lower high, much lower low leading into the close yesterday. They gapped up, lower high than this. That's where the battle is right now. Oh shit, we still have the drawing tool on. See, that's why I call it the infamous. Now we got a lower high than this high as well. And the expectations for today is to have the end of the day, to basically, if the bears want to continue to win this, they have to have a lower low by the closing bell. If they don't get that by the end of the day right here somewhere, then this eventually, we would not even be down here in that case. Soon, or throughout the remainder of this trading session, in this area, this infamous tool of drawing is terrible. In this area zone right here, where it's actually in the deadlock, that's where one of the two sides is gonna actually indicate. Because right now you see the low, the bottom, just for this moment right here. And now we see a high. It's the lower high than the previous, but if this is a trend reversal, then you see a high, a higher low than this low. And then this next move, if the bulls were to take command of this and end this bear cycle right here that was lived for 2 days, less than 2 days, barely, then they would be making at the end of the day a higher high and a higher low. And going into next week, that's where you will see them retesting these areas and perhaps breaking. With these shorts right here getting crucified from yesterday, it would easily be the case that they most likely break through the high, the most recent high. So that's the case for the buyers or for the bulls. The case for the bears is that by the end of the day, you need to be able to see it close on a lower low, which means all these buyers back here, or with either calls, or all these buyers up here will have stop losses, as this price will dip through their stop losses, and they will turn from bulls to somewhat converted over to our bears themselves, because all their stop losses will go in, adding more to the selling pressure, which will turn the price exorbitantly down to the downside. So we have to see action here happen before we react to the upside. Don't have the FOMO mindset where you like, oh, I can't wait to see like I could go. Yeah, you can be lucky with that, but trading, or you're gonna go about it with luck, it's not gonna take you far, my friend. You will be lucky here and there, but you will lose a whole lot more. You have to have a good foundation and stick to those foundations and those bases, no matter what, because you will win the overall game. And you'll see, you might think you want it all right now in one day, hit the big one and be out for a month or two. I'm not a huge fan of the win now, win big, fast stuff. Like it could again operate one time or two times or whatever, but not the for the long run. So hopefully you've learned a lot through this talk that we were having, and we're gonna watch the action happen. Like whatever side is gonna go to, we will see something that will give us the clue for next week. Let's delete this. Let's go back and put our levels, our zone, the battleground. Oh, shoot. All right. Market maker still feasting on people, clearly. Correct. Much appreciated, Belligerent Ideas. You got it, brother. Phil Burgess, how you been? Missing in action. How it's going, AB? Gonna be 109 degrees here in North Cal. See today. Stay cool, team, and God bless all. Well, God bless you too as well, my friend. Belligerent Ideas, that may be 24 hours too late. But glad you pointed out where I went wrong yesterday. Well, I'm so sorry, Belligerent Ideas. Again, you will, you're not basically the only one, but good thing is you're learning along the line of, hopefully you learned through this for the future. Because again, a trader, a day in the life of a trader, the only thing that goes against the trader eventually is if they no longer participate in the market, or if they run out of liquidity, for example. That's why it's always important to always be constricted and conservative with your trading, so that you always have your liquidity on the side. Don't ever over leverage yourself and use all your money in any trade, no matter what the upside looks like, because at the end of the day, if the odds were to be flipped on the scale, then you would be losing your entire portfolio, or more than what you can afford to lose, So it's okay. No one is perfect. You all, like I lose on trades. That's why there is stop losses that are also measured by certain levels. There is a profit collection areas as well, and they're also measured by levels. And it's the long game. It's not just all right here in one trade. So it's okay, embrace the losses, but don't expose yourself to losses that will completely eradicate your trading experience. Otherwise, it will be a short-lived career if you're trying to make one out of it. Not that it should be the one and only thing you should do or could do in life. Like I trade heavily on a daily basis, and guess what? Day trade, still have my restaurant. I still do other things. I still have other aspirations to when this movement and this morass is all over with, to go ahead and carry on and push through. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, it's something that you can, like, it's kind of like a second job without having a second job. But if you measure it correctly and you go with the right scale balances and balance everything out correctly, you will be handsomely rewarded, and you will actually, it will become fun rather than, a process or not fun anymore, or like an AMC moment. Oh my God, this drawing again. I need to turn this off here. Okay. What? Where's the... What is this? Technically right now the bulls are $1 away from roughly a little bit under, but $1 away from burning the shorts to infinity and beyond. And for the bears, it is a slow process, but they're around literally $2. So the work for the bears is a little harder than the bulls, but again, the bears have the ball, so their next move could dictate exactly how much work they have to do. Because again, they did a lot of work here when the market opened in the opening bell. Like again, the day before yesterday, I pointed out to you, we just made that case, as in 2 days ago, a lower high happened, then a lower low happened in that after hours of 2 days ago. And that was good to see, to pay attention to a lower high to materialize as it did into the opening of yesterday's market hours. Many timed and very well constricted traders took positions right there and got rewarded handsomely yesterday with that, because that gave them the level saying, oh, okay, bulls don't have what it takes. They stopped this trend right there. Boom, they got burned. These buyers here that were overextended, all this new money here, they had their stop losses poked into, and obviously they became sellers. Their losses became profits for these sellers. Now in the pre-market today, of the after hours, and then the pre-market of today, you've seen yesterday's after hours end stagnant, and then in the pre-market this morning, you saw the bulls saying, you know what? It's kind of like somebody who got, like these guys. It could be some of these guys here that got smacked over here, and they're like, you know what? I'm not gonna go back home and cry to my parents. I'm coming back and get revenge. Like, no, I don't go back home. I'm not gonna go home until I get what is mine. Like, I'm gonna beat you guys up, to these people who took their money back here. So they tried, but guess what? they were able to get it right here, and these guys here would have been toast. They would have become, their liquidations would have become profits and push the liquidity that's needed to push this next push by the bulls to the upside and basically get into a crazy zone of much higher than last week or this week's previous high. Now, here, the bears did a lot of work, like probably most of their work this morning, as they needed to stop this coup that happened in the pre-market. There was a coup, and they needed to put that down. Otherwise, they would have been toast. You know, if this closed up at this line or above it, they would have been toast. So they brought it down. They were not successfully able to yet break the bull's will, which is their last hope right here, at 451.49, because all these people here in the pre-market are right now holding for D life right here. The bears have put a lot of work into it. They brought it here, and now they're giving back some ground. But these people, all this buying that happened here in the pre-market is people who are willing to hold on. So if suddenly big new money comes in, it's going to come in to push the win for either side. So I like these odds, to be totally honest, because while it's unknown to which direction it will go, right here, it's safe to say that either side have almost an equally leveled playing field. And now it's going to come down to who's going to join from outside, a third party, to come in to actually push or tip the scales for either side. If it's going to be some more shorts and some more sellers, it's going to push it down here, and perhaps making a lower low will officially burn these buyers here, and anybody who still didn't get obliterated from these buyers over here. They will all turn into selling. All their orders will become sells, as they will have stop losses, of course. They don't want to get completely wiped out. It will be near wiping out, but like a I Am Legend situation will happen to these guys. And then of course you will see the bears reign, and the shorts will push through. If they push through this, then you will see a healthy, clean push down with no resistance, as they will gain more grounds, at least to the 446, 447 range by next week, and then perhaps 443 not too long after that, maybe perhaps by the end of the week. 443, 442, upper 442. So who's gonna tip the scales? Let's see. Who's gonna throw some bets on the live stream? Let's go. Put your predictions. Let me see. Give me your bets right here. Put it all on the live. Don't go put money on a play. I'm just saying, put your predictions. Who's gonna tip the scales to what side? Who's gonna gain the advantage? Who's gonna win this battle today? Darren Bogan, how's it going, my friend? How are you doing, brother? I'm great. Hopefully you're doing great. Philip Burgess, let's effing go. Wolf and Nicola, yeah, they're pushing more and more now. Let's see. I don't see anything, my friend. Maybe I spoke a little too soon on Wolf. Yeah, Wolf is looking more like the spy story today. Now whoever is bringing it down is going to have to try to continue to bring it down even further. Than 3.24, which is again about 20 cents away. The volume is definitely tipping in that favor. So whoever's going to win this battle, if it's going to be the buyers or the bulls, they have to go past 361, as I see here, which was the high on the day as well. Yeah, I would need to see confirmation before, fully saying yes. Let's go, Brandon. You know, NKLA. I know that it's been involved. 1.2, a 2-minute. See, this was massive right here. Again, Nikola is also in the trend of making higher highs and higher lows, stagnant right here for the past couple days. So it's not, you could almost say that it's beginning to unwind down. We need more power to see that, but this is where we would go to other measures, and this is where we'll bring our moving averages into the picture. As we can see here, back on July 3rd, it made a golden golden cross move. The 50-day moving average seems to be slowing down. I need to see if we go further out. It's clean higher highs and higher lows for now. And of course, the broader and the further time frame. As you can see on the overall trend of this stock, technically on a daily time frame, as you can see, we still did not tip over. While this lags behind the current trend that you're seeing, that Nikola has been squeezing, and obviously you could say that if you got into the bottom at 52 cents, to you look like a squeeze at 248 or at at a much higher range than that now, or even like a $3 or $2.70. That's a squeeze to you. Now, will this be actually a short squeeze? The way that I personally would look at it is we would need to go ahead and break certain other levels, continue and make continuation. So far, it looks good. It looks like it's heading in that direction, but in order for me personally to see this, like personally for me, if you're not in the past, like in the before this price, right now it's more of a grab or a chase. I can see that it's extremely high on so many calibrations, and this move looks like it's gonna have a massive breather. I don't think it has a short squeeze potential to where it will go to like back to the highs of like the 30s or like in the past, like you're even going to $9 or $10. Again, I'm not a bear. I'm not trying to, throw water on somebody's, back or something. But this is just the technicals that I'm seeing. It's definitely cooling off here on some indicators, but it's still very, very massively hot. I would need to see some retracement for a healthy move to the upside, and that retracement will hopefully not be back again below $1, and or at least if we see here at $2.02 roughly on a long, broader scale, like so in the long term, we see like within the next week or so, this price not continuing to make higher highs, and we see it unwinding down, and we see the 224 closing at 224 next week or by mid next week or sometime, and then attempt to make another high, but it's not higher than this 277 range. That at that point indicates to me that it's the bull run on this thing is over with, and now it's going to be starting to trend back down, and you'll have a convergence of the moving averages. Hopefully that doesn't bring bad news, but that's me looking at it. If I was in this play, how I would be taken, so I would know. It's what you don't know that hurts you. It's what you know that benefits you a lot. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in the back of your head, my friend. It's not advice, financial advice. It is just nothing but educational stuff that I'm giving out based on my own humble opinion. Whatever it's worth, it's up to you. That's how I see my breakdown in Nikola for now. So it's right here. It's too extended for me to chase. If I was trying to come in with as a new buyer, I need to see some retracement. If this confirms to continue to go back and continue to make higher highs going into next week, then obviously in that case, in that sense, you would look at the further broader time frames, and you will see there are some right here. There are some levels to really verify that. One that is over the $3 range, which is a massive resistance. That needs to be broken, retested, and then broken up again. Higher than that to the, I would say about the $3 and at least at the very minimum, $3.50 or $3.73 range. At that point, it will surely show to me that this thing is still trending to the upside. It will definitely have claimed its golden cross, rightfully so, completely on a higher time frame, which is more, you know, you can absorb that a whole lot more, and it's much more. It has a lot more continuation to it rather than like, you know, something on the 1 minute or 2 minute. And at that point, I would, as a new money buyer, I would probably go in at that moment. So that's an interesting thing. Keep your eye on these levels, and may the best happen to anybody in any play in this family. So any play you're in, hopefully it happens exactly to your likings or the way that you would like it to be. Hopefully that brought what you needed to hear. Need an SQQ update. We'll go look at it right now. Where is it? Second, let me bring up the SQQ. Let's look, hear what's happening with the SPY first. Let me take out the, one moment, my friends. Oh, hold on 1 second. Oh, look at this, guys. Another thing just popped up. Can't believe we forgot about this. The 200-day moving average on the 30-minute time frame. Let's look at the 1 hour. At the 1 hour, it's at 446. At the 2 hour, it's at 442. Both of those levels we spoke about that have gaps in them that needs to be covered. If you guys remember, you've been listening. So that's pretty interesting, correctly? That's first of all. Second of all, you look here on the on the 30-minute, it's at 451.49, which is literally almost hugging the trend line or the resistance that I've been giving you guys that we drew right here for the bulls support. Breaking that would obviously indicate a death cross, which means downside. So look how they are getting tightened up and how close it is. This is a little more confirmation to everything that we've been talking about the whole stream so far. Let me look at one more thing as well. Let's just look at these bands. Let me hide the moving averages. Look at this. Another thing to show you more clarification into what, or validate exactly everything that I'm telling you, is if you see the Bollinger Bands here, of course, while they're tightening up, look at the price action. We are in the middle. So right now, this is not either a buy or a sell. It's not a steal. It's none of that stuff. It's not a bullish action. It's not bearish. You can see here, we've been talking without seeing this stuff today. And right now it's sitting, the price action is actually sitting on the middle of the Bollinger Band right here. And if you want to see something like this, obviously before a big play happens, which is like this. Here in this scenario, happened this early this week, as you can see, twice. Actually, in fact, 3 times right there. We see that there was that crunch. It was crucially important for the bears or the shorts to try to bring a lower low. They couldn't. These Bollinger Bands were squeezing together. And the next thing you know, what do you see in the opening hours of the July 18th, which was this past Wednesday? That happened. these shorts that were trying so hard in the after hours and in the pre-market, and these shorts up here as well got completely obliterated, and that explains the exotic action that happened on Thursday to the upside. Then we seen this happen again on Friday as well, and on Thursday. And then it took us over all through this, and then this was the action. Look, I'm just confusing the days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we are here right now. This is Friday's pre-market and aftermarket. The pre-market action right here, aftermarket for Thursday, pre-market for Friday. Now we are here. Look at that. The bears are trying to bring it under. The bulls are trying to fight. We'll see who's going to win the battle. Just thought that this was really cool to see stuff like this. Now, I'm on the, honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't like entering in these kind of situations. I want to see a little more confirmation, but having the fact that it's the bears have a better case since it's lower highs in every sense, and the buyers have not been able to bring in really much of anything. So therefore, I've actually opened up earlier. I told you guys a position right at that next pump that happened on the from the bull side, since it confirmed that it was a lower high than obviously this, a failed attempt. This right here is where I opened up my put position due for today, and then by the end of the week, which is by close, after I get out of my position, I will go ahead and open up, something for next week. So we'll see how that would play out. 1 second. Something just went through. Did I have any sell orders? Okay. Sorry, this was good action, guys. I like this. Let's see where it goes from there. We'll definitely, I promise, we're looking at the SQQ. Don't worry, belligerent ideas. I just have to see this as my position is in the green. I want to make sure that we see these things, or I see these things cultivate in front of me. Wow, what's happening with Facebook right now? Is this the move that we've been waiting for? Apple's bet on buy now, pay later, off to a strong start. So that hurts Microsoft. Apple is also down. Roblox tweets our community. Okay, I don't want to hear that. Apple's around. It made a new daily low. And literally just like yesterday, you're going to see the same thing. Watch into the close going in. Watch how the market and the market maker will have the same exact action as slowly like this, burn premiums. And then at the end of the day, I'm actually more excited that I did get onto the put side of things of this play, of this deadlock that is happening. All right, SQQ. 1 second, I just gotta see my position. I know belligerent ideas is probably like messing me out right now. All right, so SQQ, as we can see here on, let's put it on the 1 hour first. Let me see this. Made a lower low right here. This is beautiful, guys, because again, we look at this technically to make the case for the SQQ. We need, as you can see here from yesterday, we have a higher high, or the day before yesterday, sorry. I'm confusing the days because of the less amount of sleep. The day before yesterday, we made a bottom. So we made a higher low. simply because yesterday's markets were reacting crazy to the market, and we made a higher high because the market was falling. Clearly the SDU is the inverse, so it goes up. Then we rebounded but made a higher low, which brought us up to yesterday. Higher high, higher low, which today should mean a higher high for continuation, and then maybe when it rebalances, a higher low. Now I don't see that being the case, as in like continuously, because we need to continuously keep that trend until we break this like $19.92 range, which is a lot to ask off. You're talking about $2 for the SQQ. That doesn't move a whole lot necessarily, unless there's extreme volatility to the downside for the broader market, for everywhere else in the market. So it's crazy to have that $2. I see that happening in probably next week and the week after. That could possibly be the case. But then you need to keep your eyes on mainly the broad market. Seeing these levels first being broken, that would indicate more and more upside. See, we will put some trend lines. So now we have a lower, a higher low. This looks like it's going to be a higher high. And in the week, good. That's a continuation going into next week. Then overall, the overall trend being having a massive changing of events. Well, the first level will happen here in 991. That's how I see it. Second one will be, again, the second level that we have to, the second meeting we have to reconvene in is at 2094. And at $22.99, almost $23, that's when we will meet again. We will convene again as partners in this crime. Again, not that we're doing advice for anybody. This is just the way I see it. If we were a company, that's how we would see it. Breaking this main level, this $23 on the SQQ and continuation of higher highs and higher lows, would be a free, like a run, literally a run to all the way to 26. That's a $4 run from the $22 range, which is massive. Again, this is massive, which if you can see here, the reason why all that would make some sense, some of you don't think that makes any sense. Whoever you are back there, I hear you in the room. There is all this shorting right here that happened, these that went long and short. If these guys are not closing their shorts down here somewhere and collecting their massive profits, they're that greedy. These guys will be the reason why this price breaking from here to the SQQ runs so hot in such a short amount of time to the 40s and perhaps the above the $40 range, which from here you're talking about massive gains. That's your short-term update on the SQQ. Hopefully it made some sense, and hopefully it, I mean, again, this is my case for it, but until we get to these levels and do all that, we can't have the dream case scenario playing out right now. You got to have the what's in front of you on the table. Look at this. On the 1 minute, it's still a continuation of the lower lows, lower highs. Bears in control. Portfolio in the green. What's more not to like, huh? Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me. Uh-oh. Never seen. Things you do. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, AB should not sing anymore. But he doesn't care. He still loves to sing. Okay, so 30 looks like it's just beginning. Let's down move. Let's see how much it consolidates in. On the 1 hour, still finalizing. It's also almost convergent. Oh my god, this is looking more and more bullish to the downside. So in other words, bearish. Gotta love, take what the markets give you, family, and of course the trend and all that stuff, and see the clues, and don't ever be too greedy. Take what the market gives you. See, and it's important to read what's in front of you or what's on the table. Like having to see this like almost formulating right here, like this higher, like this W or the double bottom. This would have eradicated a lot of. This is a sign. It's a one of the shapes that shows people like, hey, you're about to get screwed to the upside. Get your hell out of your position if you are on the put side. This is not also the cleanest, but this is another thing that is popping up over here. As you can see, there's a cup, not the cleanest of handles, or not the cleanest of cups, but there's a cup and handle that's forming up on the 1 hour. You wouldn't want that as bears in this case to completely cultivate. So no cups, nothing to drink here, people, okay? You don't want that. It's a massive reversal to the upside at that point, and oof, AB's stop loss would kick in. Could you please, Philip Burgess, explain crypto halving sometime? Thank you. Okay, so I'm not the biggest expert on this, but here's what I'll give you, Philip Burgess. So crypto halving is technically this: when miners are rewarded for mining, and actually that's how the crypto in general blockchains, all the blockchains operate. So think of it like Bitcoin, for example. When Bitcoin first came around and it started getting consumed, like, you know, the demand on it was a little higher and higher and higher, the people or the miners that were mining crypto, that's why you seen back then people who opened up like a big factory in their farm or in their barn and like slaughtered all the cows, and I'm sorry to say that example, but I love animals, but like sold all their cattle and massacred all their crops just so they can set up this new warehouse with cooling fans, and a bunch of miners spent like $300,000-$400,000 on it, or even millions of dollars. Like some corporations even did that so they could go ahead and install many miners to mine crypto, and specifically Bitcoin. And in the beginning, because it was extremely profitable, people got loaded off of that. Now the more that it gets more mined and it gets close to its limit, so like right now Bitcoin is very close to mining all the entire supply chain of Bitcoin coins out there. There will be no more Bitcoins to mine at that point, you know. So the rewards, as they are mining more and more, keeps shrinking. So the miners are rewarded less. So in other words, if you're trying to open up a mining farm for Bitcoin, you would, and again, this is not advice, but in my humble opinion, you would be coming in a little too late, and you would not be happy because your electric fees and costs and everything are not going to be rewarded with the opposition, like, or the upside of the coins the Bitcoins that you're mining income. You know, so the halving comes at a cost of you get profits, you get exposed to profits, but as they over time keep dwindling, and I don't know exactly like there's many places that would have it like it's almost like every couple years or every 4 years, 5 years, something like that. I think it's every 4 years. But every blockchain has a different case scenario. So again, I'm not the biggest guru on that stuff. Yeah, AB is a day trader. AB have been trading for many years in the market. Not just claiming it or talking about stuff like, oh, to the moon or let's go Brandon. Although I love using let's go Brandon phrase. But I'm not like, that doesn't mean I know all of it. But so I'm the first one to come to say that, hey, I don't know much about this. I'm very limited on that. That's as much as I know about halving of crypto. Hopefully that can set you on the right path to somebody who's a lot more experienced in that or in that zone or all about that. I'm all about learning every day. So I'm always trying to download more and more and more and more. That's where my downloading, my server have downloaded that much so far. So hopefully with the days to come, I could download more and gain more knowledge onto that. So hopefully that at least gave you some idea on what it is at least. And then you could get into it deeper in a much more suitable place that would know a whole lot more. BGLC. That sounds scary, bro. Pabloco. That sounds like some correct stuff. BGLC. This that's halted right now. BGLC. It's resuming trading. Oh, okay. It's up 55%, but again, it's halting because it's falling sharply. You would think they would do the same thing for AMC, right? No, it doesn't halt on the downside. It halts on the upside. Let's see what is happening here with them. Did they give out any news? Is there some sort of I don't know. Let's see what's up with BGLC. Oh, yeah, this is terrible stuff. Okay. They did a reverse split, 1 to 12. I am so sorry to the investors that are in that play. My heart and obviously my condolences goes out to them. When did they do that? Did they do that today? No, they did that yesterday. So, Pabloco, what was their price? I want to see if the charts have incorporated that in yet or not, because That's a big thing that confuses a lot of people in the community. Like when they see these stocks that will say on the screen or on the chart, oh, it's up 800% or 1000%. But it's because the chart induces the reverse split and basically does the new price as it was at, like, what, let's say if it was at 50 cent and it became $3, it would say, oh wow, it moved up to $3, but it really didn't, because it did a reverse split, so it wouldn't incorporate the reverse split with the price. So is this with the price incorporated, or where was it at prior to this split? Because if the price was originally yesterday at 330 was the bottom, okay? If it did a 1 to 12 reverse split, obviously people are getting hurt. You know, that's the case, but it doesn't make sense that 1 to 12 reverse split would equate to higher than $9 in the price of a security. Because if it was at 3, you would basically putting 3 12s in one, which should be at 36 bucks, arguably. So this means I think that this chart have already here incorporated that in. I think they have already incorporated that in. DWAC is running bananas. Wow, that's big money. $6 in the green and on the options chain. That's what they call in these oh look, LAZR. I sold it at 150% profit yesterday, and that, if held through to today, that would have even probably went more to about 220%. But again, why risk 150 just to gain an extra 50, right? Not mad at all. So again, Pabloco, maybe $3. It was maybe in the pennies, and it did, like, maybe it was like 70 cents or 80 cents, and then it did a 12 to 1 reverse split that brought it up to this $3.30. Then I don't know. And then if that's the case, that's the case that makes the most sense, is that it was like somewhere in 75 or 60 cents, 12 to 1 reverse split. It comes up to 330, then it trades in the after hours, and then in the pre-market today it shot up what should be a lot more than what the percentage is given. Well, actually, yes, because it is now down to 8. But even then, from yesterday's close at 487, okay, yeah, this makes sense. So at 487, if you add 71% more to that, you would have basically this price, which is 825. So it makes sense. And at some point it was up even more than 70%, because it was at 949, as you can see here, on the high of the day, which means it was up over 100% at some point, and it went down. It's still making a push, but again, this is very, very scary, because again, here, while you have still lower highs constricted with this, right now I would be looking for a high that breaks that high, and of course continuation on higher lows. Which means right now what I'm watching on, this is on the 30-minute, let's do it on the hour. As you can see, this high, this last wave right here that is currently in, it looks like it was constricted right here. It's over though in 23 minutes, so still about 23 minutes to come back to this. If it breaks above it, like resoundingly, it will show that it's a new, you know, like this thing still has more room to move. The next drop, though, I would not be doing, personally for me, I would not be chasing this right here. I would be waiting for the next drop to see exactly when it retests this line. If it breaks underneath it, then this whole debacle is over and it will start rebounding back to the downside. In my humble opinion, if it does respect it and continue to stay above this trend line right here, that means it's a higher low, and eventually I could expect it to at least move. If I get in right here, I'll be watching for this line. If it's also respected from down here to down to up here, that's, I'm already in the green, and but only because I got in over here. But if I get in right here and this ends up being the limit and it drops back here, I'll be massively in the red, and now I'll be hoping that it doesn't break to the downside. Because if it breaks to the downside, you know, you're completely screwed. If it respects this and moves back up, then you would be hoping that it first comes back up here and break, which will be above where you're entering currently right here. So again, there's the risk and reward case scenario for me. It's interesting. I need to see that cultivate above before I can make my move. I'm not going to chase any of these stocks, and I will not, of course, advise anybody to do the same thing, but that's my case scenario. I'll see the next drop. I want to make sure that it is not a lower low, because if it's a lower low, then this thing is going to be, I will be looking forward to getting into probably shorting or going puts. I don't think that it's in the stock anyways, in the options chain. So perhaps even shorting this thing when it comes back up here, making sure that it makes a lower high. And at that point, that's when I go short on the stock, because it will go down. And if it respects any levels right here to change of a direction, I'm already in the green. I can take out my profits and be happy. Okay, hopefully that answers the question, my friend. Okay, what are you doing here? Oh, look, you freaking bulls again, pushing up again. The buyers are like, no, we're not gonna get screwed for a third day. We don't want to get screwed. We want to give it back to these guys back here. All that is doing is trapping more and more, and I like it. Go up, get healthy, and then I'll see you in about an hour. And then you will see where it will be. An hour, and then maybe another hour to see the exotic one. The good thing here is even on the shorter time frames, it's showing lower highs and lower lows. So I'm good with the put position here. I'm happy with my put position. Of course, knowing when to get in is the most important thing. So like going in and going out of the money wrong, advised area, then at that point you would be getting in only to get slaughtered, because the price or the parameters would be different. So for example, anybody who would have gotten into this today after seeing this right here, gotten in anywhere around here and got like puts at the like 450 or the 449, they're already hoping for a miracle right now, for something out of nowhere to just crash the market $3.50, you know. But getting in perhaps after seeing the confirmation of the retest that it's not a higher high right there, that's personally for me where I got in. And now seeing this not break above it, breaks above it, I take my losses. I have a stop loss, will be right exactly over here, because that will be a new indication of a higher high, and eventually, as you can see here, a higher low. And eventually I'll get out with that, because again, I'll be good not to take more losses, perhaps get obliterated to the upside. As I told you guys and made the case earlier throughout the day, look at this deadlock that we're in with the bears and the bulls. Breaking above this trend here makes higher highs. It will be a complete reversal First leg is right here as far as a higher low. Could this be a higher high? If a third party comes in right now and says, I think so, and puts crazy new buy money in, sends it up to here, then there will be no more lower high and lower low. The new trend reversal, and at that point, these guys will probably get obliterated. We'll have a massive run going into the closing hours to the upside. Perhaps retest this 456 level.
Trying to get through to you, break and make you fall, know everything you wanted. Go, just see how far you've really come. Wake up, baby, feel the sun. I'm trying to break you out of your own mind.
All right. Let's see. The bulls are pushing here. Yep. They're gonna get out of their range. I see that they're getting extended. Buy money. And it is very worthy to pay attention to this point right here. See, every moment gives you some clue. It's a higher low right there. This has to be a higher high, and at that point, it will be extremely in the danger zone. Because that would indicate automatically a reversal on the day, especially if you're playing it daily. Playing a weekly and do next week and all that, that wouldn't be much of a worry at that point. This would be the scary point right there. Breaking that will obviously indicate that it will go up to here and it'll break him 456.43, and you'll be like, oh my god, I have to. You would be praying, or I would pray personally, that you would have your stop losses in place if all that was to check out again. Otherwise, this could be nothing more than something like this that happened earlier today. Down, up, almost a double bottom, almost a W. As you see, it wasn't clean. Didn't happen because this is just a wick. Price was here, so down, boom, boom. Back up, almost formed that higher high, but then it was a lower low. Now here, higher high, higher low. We need a higher high right there to get the cleanest picture moving into the end of this day. Not the case, then soon the bears will come in. They will be like, you want to keep battling me right here? I'm gonna take you down here. How about this? Okay. All right, family. Let me just go ahead and use the restroom real quick. BRB. You guys have some music. All right. I am back, people. I don't want to get out of bed. Do not. Then don't. Wow. It's literally 1:30, and we've just like yesterday, have only been so far at 31 million. Remember, from like 2.5 hours ago, we were at 24 million. In the 1 minute, we are seeing. Oh, shoot. I left without taking this drawing the lines BS off. So yeah, on the 1 minute, it is making a somewhat of a bullish case. It is the beginning right there of a higher high, maybe a higher low will form as well. You can also clearly still see that here on the 30 minute, but it's still not a higher high that it completely obliterates these levels right here, this 2 zone. So it's getting awfully close. Excuse me, I'm looking at some messages. Okay, so be careful, guys, for all 8 of you that are in here. Be careful, and I know I've, trained you guys much better on this, but please be careful. Be careful with thinking about opening the crypto positions and actually opening them on brokers. Be careful. I'm not saying don't do anything or do something. It's up to you at the end. But be careful with opening, for example, crypto positions in Webull or Robinhood specifically. It's a recipe to get slaughtered, and then you end up crying, talking about manipulation and all this stuff. These brokers or brokerages will own your keys, or they will have the keys, the rights to your. They are always having, even Binance or Coinbase. If they were to go bellies up, you don't know what's happening behind the curtain with them. Even though those are even bigger ones, and they're all about crypto. If they were to go bellies up, so will your cryptos, similar to FTX. So make sure you understand and you research and you go learn what a nano ledger is or an X ledger is, stuff like that. Having your own coins and your own in your own possession makes a complete difference. Having them through a brokerage could be rewarding, and in the same time it's a much easier and more complementary, but it comes at a risk that if it was to go up, belly up, you can't do nothing about it. So be careful, family. All right, moving up right here. Massive buying power. Did the third party come in or not? We'll see right here. Or will it be not enough and it's the same buying power of the people who are buying into this thing? To the SPY. Okay, let's see what's happening around the world. Meta down almost 2%. Microsoft rebounding. It was down to 344. Now it's up to 346. It was now it's at 346.14. Oh, sorry, we're looking at that 1 minute. Clearly here you still see, since the day that it picked up the SPY on Thursday, I believe, or Wednesday, the CPI data, was it the same day as the CPI? No, I think it was Thursday. No, Thursday was the 20th. Wednesday was the 19th. And the 18th was Tuesday. So Tuesday. Since then, it has been doing lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. I mean, and then here is interesting. If it doesn't close with the lower lows, then since it will indicate also being at the end of the week, then that would be an interesting scenario. That would be basically saying that this is it. This was the bottom right there at 344.96, which was made today. And it will be a reversal, which is also in line with everything that we were talking about with the SPY and what was happening over there. Let's see. Apple rebounding quite a bit from where it hit as far as a low on the day, which was, oh, look, kind of like it's not quite thick, but you can make a case that it's almost an engulfing candle right there. So big buying pressure off of the low of 191.96. Nvidia. The low was 444. Wow, it rebounded a whole lot from that. It's also, as you can see, it's following that same trend. It's a higher low, but not conclusive enough yet. We need to see a higher high after that higher low right there. If this was to conclude right there. Sorry, this was a 30-minute. Let's put it right there. Need to see a higher high at some point to conclusively call this a change of trend. Uh-oh, getting close. Getting really close. Massive buy-in. Look, is this just regular buyers, or is this the third party I was talking about earlier that is going to tip the scale to the other side, or to help or aid the bulls? The Bears are definitely watching, just like AB and everyone else right now on the live television, their trading stations, because this is, while this is the way too far. Well, that is the ultimate game changer into a higher, official higher on the day, which means these people here get slaughtered, or they probably closed their positions and said, you know what, we're happy with taking some loss right here. Can't take this on. So it gets really close. The crazy part is it's coming with almost no volume. Barely. They break this, they will get extra help and push from this from these guys and these guys back here, because their flesh and bones would act as fuel to the rocket of these green, or the bulls. All right. I have to get ready to go in about 30 minutes. So if anybody in the family has any questions, we'll be good at this moment because I have a Friday to get to, and in the same time, I have to go do my prayers and I have to finish this also trade while I'm also doing all that stuff. Let's take a look at AMC. See this, guys? What did I tell you earlier? Let this be a lesson to every single person. Earlier, when we were right here at the highs, there's a segment where I was explaining to everybody about what was making this price action and what my educated guess was on this action, following the money, not just some, you know, legends and myths and fiction and facts and whatever mixed all together. I made my case. I supported it to all of you guys. I gave you guys what it is. And you've seen where they can exercise or sell, let go of all their in the money puts, giving way for their calls to make money. And then they will load up a lot more puts and let go of their calls after they make money. And then they continue that trend to keep this price constricted within this range so that they do not get obliterated on the obviously on the shorting side of AMC. All right. I think the S&P 500 is reacting. This is basically the third party to the president's remarks on AI and stuff like that. Let's see what happened here. Let's look at the options chain. Mm-hmm. So it looks like the third parties are jumping in right now. I'm seeing millions of dollars flowing into the SPY. So far, that's the most recent. This is helping this run right now that is happening. Will it be enough though? Let's continue. I need to see that 454.75 level being broken, or my basically at that point my stop loss will just go through. All right. We will stop the music for now, for a bit. These last few moments of the stream, guys. So therefore, like I said, if you have any questions, put them through. This would be a good time. See, go back. See Tesla. Tesla is running wild. This is all because of that talk that apparently Biden is having. Burst it for everybody. Then Amazon is also up. Markets are all reacting that way. Let's see. Why is still moving up? Where's Netflix? Netflix still in the red? Yeah, Netflix still in the red. Facebook still in the red, but again, it's rebounding from where it was. Microsoft is out of the red. It ate all that up. Apple's making the case back up as well. Clean reversal. See, it continues to go past, make higher highs. Nvidia is also rebounding. Google's in the green. Super important to see this is the obliteration point for all these shorts and bears and these actions right here. Unless they are themselves, I doubt this person right here got out because he initiated that position somewhere here. So they might, this might be forgotten about. This person takes a small loss. This person is gonna get out and basically say right here, they will all be like this person might have already gotten out and basically gave up on his buddies down here on these. And he's like, I'm gonna take my money because when the price action was down here, like I'm in the green, let me take my money and then flip and became more on the buy side, basically converged and gave up on these guys. And that right there would basically screw these people up. These are the ones that are vulnerable the most. If this breaks that, they will be liquidated, which will expedite the move to the upside right there. Okay, I got the ringer right there for the prayer. The reminder. That is respected and is not given, then again, close call and still the same trend. Lower highs. Going down, not up. So crazy. Still, all that happens at 33 million volume. The floodgates are gonna open soon. Hopefully, AB, all of you guys will be on the right side of things. Biden almost screwed AB up right here. If not, we'll see soon. I would like for everybody else, honestly, to go and watch that Senate hearing with the whistleblowers. It's pretty interesting the things that were actually talked about and brought up and sworn about and the whistleblowing that was happening. Interesting stuff. Oh, look, BBIG was in the red and it's up. Look at this. These are the previous lines that we've set. It's trading out of this channel to the upside. See, Right here, still not like this is cool and all, but we need to see this trade above this. Will indicate a complete continuation to this higher highs and higher lows on BBIG, which means the move is still to the upside. Look, it's as clean as day, night. But we can't have this fall back down here next week. Interesting times. I like that. SPY cooling off. Still not over though. There is, on this candle alone, there is about 43 minutes left. On the 30 minute, there's still 13 minutes left to dictate where this thing will go. So in about 13 minutes, we will see this will close above or on the way to, or if this will turn into a red candle, and then we'll see a more significant downside at that point. All right. Need a drop, a SPY drop first. Hell yeah. I need two. I was in the green. Now I'm actually officially in the red with my position. But again, I need, there's no worries. Everything is cool until this happens. This gets broken. This gets broken. It won't be the end of the world. It would just mean I could take my small loss and not make sure that it doesn't become a huge one on my entire position. You see what I'm saying? That I take on it. And always get in with what you can afford to get in with on your position. Always know that, guys. The fundamentals are important into your trading strategy. Don't get in all with the FOMO mind and everything. Then if the unthinkable happens, then you start thinking, you know, where did I go wrong? So see, it's still there, lingering. We got about 11 minutes to go into this candle right here in the 30 minute. Five minutes, got 1 minute to see if this becomes a doji or not, or for continuation. 2 minutes starting a new trend. 1 minute is also doing the same. All right, family. Ding, 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 ding for AB. Gotta go pray. That comes first. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you walked away again with something in this live today. Hopefully you walked away with some information. You learned something. Thank you for all the great questions. And hopefully I was able to suffice with my answers without giving obviously any financial advice. May the Lord bless you guys throughout this weekend. Enjoy your weekend with your family and your loved ones. Obviously get some sun while it's really hot out there, and enjoy the festivities of the summer. We're not granted life every day. One thing we do know is the moment that we have right now is the moment that we might not have later. So enjoy every moment as it comes. Love everybody. Push out love. Stoop. Throw away all the hate. Don't have that in your system. The Packers just signed a UFL QB MVP. All right, well, it's not the most bullish news, Villager Ideas, but thanks for taking a dig at my Packers. I appreciate it. I know that's the intent. Screw you, Rogers, for doing this like this. But with that being said, guys, I'll catch you guys sometime throughout this week. Maybe I'll make a video instead of a live at Sunday, maybe night or Sunday afternoon. Um, with an update of what to expect this upcoming weekend, seeing what happens in the after hours as well. We'll play a long road, play a big role into what's about to come next week. You'll see toward the end of this trading session what will exactly happen next week. It'll give you a lot of clues and very big clues. And with that being said, much love, AV Investments.